All right, hello.
Hello.
Welcome, guys, to episode 60, of Hello, the podcast with me, one half of your hosting duo, Raammo, and my lovely co-host, Jenz. Welcome back, Jenz. Hi. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, not too bad. You know, trucking along, as they say. Same shit, different day, as they also say.
Yep.
Another day, another early start. You know how it be. But yeah, it's going as good as it can, I guess. What have you been up to for the past week, Jenz? I feel like we've only sort of just talked the past couple of days ish with some Siege. We haven't
haven't
caught up too much. What have you been up to other than recovering?
What have I been up to? Still recovering. I finally watched Doctor Strange.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, the games night we had was with someone who hadn't watched it. Didn't want to talk about it.
Right. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah.
But yeah, I watched that. I would love to talk about it afterwards, off camera, because I know not a lot of people would have seen it just yet. So yeah, we did that, which is good. And I finally, I started my playthrough of the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe Edition.
Yeah, okay. I did see that, yeah.
Which,
enjoying it?
Yeah. I mean, you can't go wrong with Stanley. Stanley's such a great game. So for their quote unquote second game, they've done really well. And I'm very happy about that. Are you going to check it out?
I feel like I've heard, I think I'll give it a go at some point, because I do remember playing the original Stanley Parable way back when, and I heard you say throughout the stream, I honestly couldn't remember what happened at all during the first one, and I feel the same. I feel like it's been that long, that if you even asked me what did you do in the I couldn't tell you, so
well, apparently there is an achievement you can get for not playing the game for 5 years and 10 years.
Yes, I have seen that. I did hear about that. Now I do want to check out the new one, because I was going to say, I ever since we covered it, 3-4 weeks ago, whatever, when they, the release was just around the corner, since then I've heard nothing but good things about it, from everyone that sort of I've talked to or seen on the internet talking about it, haven't heard a bad thing at all. So it, I don't think it can go wrong with it.
Yeah.
Especially if you are a Stanley Parable fan or you have played the first one, I feel like you're going to enjoy it even more.
Yeah, absolutely. So I highly recommend if you are umming and ahhing about getting it.
Yeah.
Very good. But what about you? Have you been playing anything, or you just been working?
You're working pretty much.
Yeah.
We did the games night not too long ago, and we just played some Siege and Fortnite and stuff like that. That's pretty much it, honestly. I've sort of been in a bit of a lull in terms of finding new things to play, or committing to playing things that are on the pile of shame, and we're going to touch on that in just a little bit, because our first topic this week is going to be basically just a big list of things on my pile of shame, which we'll go into whatever, like I said, but I don't know, for some reason I just always go back to the safety pick, which is I'll just play some more Siege again. So, but I guess leaning on that, should we just jump into the news this week, Jenz? Because we do have a fair bit, much like last week, there's a fair bit of news this week that we got to cover. First off, a couple of days ago, Jenz, we did write a blog post about this as well, so I'm going to say you're going to get a lot more information from the blog post, so head there to hellohellolive.com, the most recent blog post that's gone up, and you'll be able to see it all. But we're just going to touch on this a little bit, Jenz. Earlier in the week, Sony and PlayStation announced a little bit of an update for their revival of PlayStation Plus, I guess. PlayStation Plus 2.0, I'm hearing it being called a lot. And so we know that it's going to be a tier system, and we know that there's going to be different benefits to each tier, obviously. And the question a lot of players' minds was, what exactly are we going to get in these tiers? You say that we're getting access to a games catalog. But what games catalog, you know?
Mm.
And so I guess to relieve a little bit of stress coming up to the release, which is about a month away now, Sony released like a list, a sort of a smaller list of to what we can expect. And so I'm just going to rattle off a couple here. So obviously you can expect there's going to be some big, first party Sony Studio games on there. So we've got Days Gone, we've got Death Stranding Director's Cut, as well as the normal Death Stranding. This one is pretty big for me. Ghost of Tsushima, the Director's Cut, which is huge. I have yet to play that, but that's been on my list for a good while. So it's really good to see that there. God of War, the most recent revival of God of War, is going to be on there, with the upcoming God of War 2 coming out just around the corner too. So that's pretty big. You got Horizon Zero Dawn, the first Horizon, which is pretty cool as well. You got a fair bit of Ubisoft in there as well. Like all of their like sort of big first party Ubisoft games are on there. So you got your Far Cry 3 and 4, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, a couple of others sprinkled in there as well. Then you've got some sort of like older games too. You've got like Red Dead Redemption as well, Red Dead Redemption 2, sorry.
Nice.
Which is massive. If you haven't played Red Dead yet, devs jump on that if you're getting this the extra tier this is for as well.
Mm-hmm.
Last of Us Remastered and Last of Us Left Behind, which is like that first little sort of spin-off story game that they released a little while ago, and all the Uncharted as well. Like there's a ton of games on here, and that's just like not even half the list that's on the blog post. Like there's probably triple that amount, and Sony's saying that's like maybe a quarter of like what they're releasing or something like that. There's going to be even more, that they're going to put up on the PlayStation website just a little bit closer to the launch of the new service. So like we're getting a lot. And like I said at the start, a couple of those games in there are like on my pile of shame. Like I'm yet to play God of War. I'm yet to play Ghost of Tsushima. I'm yet to play Days Gone. So like for me, it's kind of a no-brainer to get the extra tier. But I wanted to hear your thoughts, Jenz. Do you think this is worth it as a whole as well? Like,
I mean, there are a lot of games, and there are a lot of like AAA games. I reckon it is well worth it. I don't know how much it's going to be converted, like the difference between what you pay now and what you pay for PS Plus Premium. I forget what the difference is.
Because at the moment, like I said down at the bottom, I was like, I think I pay $10.95 or $11.95 a month at the moment for like my PlayStation Plus, which is the normal PlayStation Plus. It's not anything crazy. I pay that per month, and so like, I'm probably expecting like around $15-$16 for like the extra tier, maybe, something like that, Australian dollars. So like a couple of extra bucks for me is kind of like, it seems like a no-brainer to get access to all these like huge games. Like,
and I guess you could always, have PS Premium and then maybe bump it down if you're not using.
That's it, true. If you don't realize you're using it, you can always just like go up or down, or I guess that's the whole benefit of like this tier system, I guess, is you can always just chop and change. Like you're never locked in for 12 months, like you just, unless you buy a 12-month plan, I guess, if they do those.
Yeah, well, they do them for the current one, so maybe they will. But I mean, it is a lot of money. Like there are so many subscriptions these days. Like everything is a subscription. So I can understand if people are very like taken aback, considering Game Pass is quite cheap in comparison. Yeah. But also with that being said, Game Pass is, I don't think Game Pass offers as many like, I don't know. I feel like this feels
to me more... like just reading off this list. I don't know. I still think Game Pass is the preferred like.
Oh, and I think it will be for a while.
Yeah, I think Sony's gonna have to work pretty hard to like make this a viable choice. Obviously, if you're strictly a PlayStation player and you don't have like a PC or an Xbox, this is this is the only thing you have. Like, of course, you're not going to be thinking about Game Pass. But for like mine and Jenz's situation, and probably I'm sure a lot of other people out there that have a PC that can get like Game Pass for PC, it's like it's kind of a toss up now, because it's like, do I want to be spending I think it's $10.95 a month for Game Pass as well. I think it's relatively cheap, compared to probably what this is going to be. And like I'm able to play those on like my PC and stuff like that too, which is like my main system, right? Like I find myself less and less playing my PlayStation just because all the games I play are on PC. So
yeah, I reckon the real kicker would be if, and time will tell if we get like on the day release access included into what you pay, because that's the main benefit about Xbox Game Pass and their real like
being able to play
the
latest Halo game on day one
and not paying anything, like not paying anything extra is like such a great thing to have. But
and you think too, like Xbox owns Bethesda now, and they've already stated that like the next Elder Scrolls release or like the next Bethesda releases are going to be day one Game Pass games. Like that's huge.
Is that Starfall? Is that Bethesda or just?
Yes, that's Bethesda.
Yeah, okay.
But that also got delayed a little bit too.
Yeah, it did.
If you didn't see that, yeah,
Starfall and Redfall or Star.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called anymore.
The next two Bethesda games that were released, slated for release this year, have been pushed back until the start of next year now. So it wasn't a long delay, but
a lot of people are very mad about, but I won't go into too much about that because I didn't actually do a lot of research, but I just know a lot of people are quite mad about that coming from Xbox, which
I mean oh, my camera just died. That's fun. That's fine. I can just put a picture of myself up. I guess like we said last week too, we don't want another cyberpunk fiasco. Like,
and you don't want to put people through crunch. Like, that's just
no. In any sort of business, let alone like video games and stuff like that, no one wants to be like forced to be like, okay, you have to finish this mountain of work in a week and a half. Jeez.
Yeah,
like no one likes that. No matter what industry you're in, video games or just normal office work or
a rush deadline is not fun.
No,
because you're gonna do sloppy work, and that's because of time. Like
exactly. Yep.
Anyways.
All the time and stress of it. But that's a discussion for another time. Another thing, Jenz, I wanted to touch on real quick. If you scroll down on that blog post just a little bit, in the PlayStation Plus Premium tier, if you're a premium subscriber, you get access to a bunch of popular PlayStation classic titles from over the years, going way back to like the original PlayStation. Just looking at that list, on the right-hand side specifically, I see a lot of PS4 games.
Oh, yeah.
Would you consider any of those like classic PlayStation titles?
No, I've not heard of any of them.
And I mean, and some of them,
well, BioShock.
To defend Sony a little bit, some of them are like remasters or remakes. So like, Jak 2 and Jak 3, I think, were remastered for the PS4 or whatever. So it's like, yes, they are technically older games, but like they're still the PlayStation 4 version they're putting on there, not the actual like classic original version. So it's like, I don't know, like when you say that, we're getting classic games, when I see 12 or 15 PlayStation 4 tags next to them, I'm like, that's a bit weird.
And it's not very far. Like, they haven't gone back in the archives very far.
No.
But I guess, like you say, they're probably the remaster titles of something that was...
And as well, to me, too, all of, like, the original PlayStation games that they have there... Like, I was very young when the original PlayStation came out, and I was more of a Nintendo kid, but, like, none of those, other than Tekken and Worms Armageddon or Worms World Party, jump out to me as being, like, games like, oh, yeah, I remember that one. Like, I don't remember Siphon Filter. I don't remember IQ Intelligent Cube. I don't remember Hot Shots Golf. Like,
golf.
So...
one thing that I am hoping to see is, like, older titles of like janky games, and I wish hopefully they have that in the catalog, but I guess we'll find out. It's coming out in June, right?
Yes. So I did see some dates. I think for us in Australia, it is June 22nd, if my memory recalls or whatever, because they're doing a bit of like a staggered launch. So I think North America's getting it on the 2nd. I think Europe's getting it the week or so after. And then a little bit later, we're getting it or whatever over here in Oceania towards the 22nd. So it'll be a staggered release or whatever. So you'll probably hear a lot of people in the coming weeks talking about it on Twitter and online and all that sort of stuff. So we'll definitely be aggregating sort of the more fun topics, I guess, to talk about. And I guess we get to see if Sony's going to fumble the ball in the release. I doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see,
Yeah.
But yeah. Moving on, Jenz, another giant studio conglomerate planning remasters, except this time they're kind of just strictly doing remasters. I don't think Take-Two's released anything new that I can recall, other than maybe the latest Borderlands game.
Tiny Tina.
Because that's 2K. But so yeah, Take-Two, we all know them as being like the giant company that funds studios such as Rockstar Games, 2K Games, and Private Division. And earlier this morning, or yesterday I think it was, they announced via their financial report that it plans on releasing 8 new iterations of previously released titles over the course of 2023 to 2025. So within the next 3 to 4 years, you're getting 8 new remasters / remakes of classic Take-Two games from either Rockstar or 2K or Private Division or any of their other studios, which is very interesting because this comes just after the kind of botched Grand Theft Auto trilogy remaster release not too long ago. And a lot of people are still feeling the burn from that, I think. So like when they announced this or whatever, people were like, do we really want more of these? Like if this is the kind of care that's going to go into them, especially for like such a beloved series like Grand Theft Auto, whatever, if such a lack of care went into like doing the remasters and making sure they run properly, what's to say they're going to do the same with like all of the other games that they're going to remaster and remake? Like, so people are a little bit concerned about this, but it is a little bit exciting because, we are yet to see the likes of Bully, which is like a classic Rockstar game, be sort of remastered or remade, or even referenced at all. Like, we haven't heard anything about like a Bully 2 or a sequel or like, anything like that. And that's a big game. People love Bully, so it'd be cool to see them sort of revive that in a sense and give that a little bit of remake. I remember playing the Midnight Club series, which was like kind of Rockstar's answer to like Need for Speed in a sense.
Oh, okay.
Was like a cool racing game. I remember playing the shit out of that. And Red Dead 1, Red Dead Revolver, is yet to be sort of touched and given a little facelift and stuff like that. And sort of with, everyone loving the more modern Red Deads, that might be a bit of a smart decision to remaster / remake that. So there's a good couple. And that's just like the Rockstar ones. Obviously, there's like some other 2K games and whatnot. We did just get the BioShock remasters and stuff like that not too long ago.
Yeah.
And you got the Borderlands, the Hansen collection as well, where they sort of touched up a little bit of those. So like some of their games have already been remastered recently. But I'm sure there's plenty more that they could pull from, But yeah, what are your thoughts, Jenz, on like, because like, they came out and they announced GTA 6 or whatever, but like, is Take-Two strictly doing like remakes and remasters now?
I mean, I don't know. I like I like the ideas of remasters because, especially if coming from someone who didn't grow up with games, so
yeah, you missed out on a fair bit.
Yeah, so being able to go back to that in a better form is always nice. I mean, it sometimes doesn't pan out. It sometimes just feels quite dated, no matter what you do.
I mean, it's funny you mention that because our next topic is on one of the series of games that I've been wanting to play forever. And I just haven't gone back to play them yet because I don't know about going way back to PlayStation 1, like they didn't really have analog sticks on the PlayStation 1. And like, I don't know, to me, my modern gaming mind doesn't feel like it's going to click with...
Yeah, and sometimes the camera work is just not good. And like, obviously graphics, which is a thing that they can fix, but like, some mechanics changed so much. But I guess this would be a good segue to talk about. And this is purely rumors at the moment. Silent Hill, though, is reportedly coming back with multiple new games. And I say new with an asterisk because they are probably going to remake Silent Hill and Silent Hill 2.
Yeah.
But there's also a possibility that there is another new Silent Hill game in development. Which
so
is exciting.
I didn't hear about the fact that it might be the remakes or slash remasters of the first two Silent Hill games. I heard that there was going to be like a new one or whatever. But it's interesting that the reports are now saying that it might be remakes of the first two and then the new one as well.
Yeah, like it, and like I said, this is all speculation from someone who leaked art onto Twitter, and that Twitter was taken down because of copyright, which gives everyone.
That's a lot of people at the start were like, okay, this seems a bit far fetched, but then Konami hit them with the takedown notice, and everyone was kind of like, now hang on a minute.
Yeah, it's like,
if you're this worried about it getting out, then there's got to be something on the table, right?
Exactly. You know? Which is quite exciting because I don't know how, but Silent Hill had been a topic that came up recently for me. So like maybe a new game from them or a remake even is called for.
I mean, like I just said, Jenz, I've always wanted to play the Silent Hill games, you know? Like, always. Ever since I sort of first heard about them and, like, the reputation surrounding them, I was like, damn, these seem cool. I want to experience that. And then I was like, can I go back and play on a PlayStation 1, though? Like,
also, you have to source a PlayStation 1. Right?
Yeah, exactly. That's true. That's very true.
But did Silent Hill, like, come before Resident Evil, or was Resident Evil first?
That's a good question, honestly.
Because I feel like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, they feel very similar.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I would say so. Like, if you were to compare one game to the other, I feel like they would be, you know, around very similar. So Silent Hill, the first one, came out on PlayStation 1 on 31st of January, 1999.
99.
And then, what about Resident Evil?
I don't even know what the first Resident Evil was called.
So the first Resident Evil looks like it came out around 1996. So...
Okay, so...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. 96.
So, I mean, they're within enough of a time one another to be like, you know... And I don't feel like Resident Evil would have been a copy of Silent Hill.
No.
You know?
But they probably got inspired.
Yeah, for sure. They're both Japanese horror games. So, like, you know, they're probably, you know, inspired by one another, you know...
Yeah, so hopefully these are true. Konami has not publicly commented on the leaks nor confirmed any new Silent Hill projects. So fingers crossed that this is true, because I am desperate for like a new horror series.
Yeah.
And I feel like this would be so up my alley. So fingers crossed.
I really do hope this is true as well.
Yeah, it'd be so exciting.
Yeah.
I want to rewatch the movie.
I've never seen the movie either, because I feel like I was like, if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it like all in one, and I want to like watch the movie and play the games, and like even if I don't think they like tie into one another. I think they're meant to be a separate entity. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, the first movie got 32%. It's not great from what I hear.
But what I heard about this supposedly new game that's in development, not the remakes of the first two, that it was going to be set in some sort of like European or like English type town or something like that. So it seems like it's going to be like steering away from what was like the actual Silent Hill. You know, like I think it's somewhere in Washington State, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where the game was set. So it seems like there was like, you know, maybe steering away from where the first games were set, which is a bit interesting, you know. Obviously I've never played them, so I don't know how that's going to pan out, but yeah, this supposed new game, I guess, it seems to be going in a kind of new direction. So
they made quite a few. I think they made 4 games.
There was a good few of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then PT, but then PT got canned.
PT was meant to be like the revival of Silent Hills.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe that was what lit a fire under Konami's ass when they sort of demand that people like, oh my god, this is like this 15-minute demo or whatever was so good that please develop more or whatever. And then obviously the fallout between Kojima and Konami happened, and so Konami pulled PT, and that never happened. But I guess obviously the board or like, the stakeholders were still like, you know what, there's the demand out there, so dollar bills.
Exactly.
Like.
And it's sitting there, They had
That's true.
They probably
still have the IP.
brainstorm stuff, so
yeah.
But yeah, very exciting. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely. So we did speak about this rumor like a while back that Dead by Daylight.
Totally forgot about this, Jenz. Like I saw it on, I don't know whose Discord I was in yesterday, but they posted the link and I was like, oh my God, I remember talking about this. Yeah.
So yeah, Dead by Daylight is officially doing a dating sim. Confirming the rumors. The rumors are true. If you want to date a killer, you can. The game is called Hooked on You, a Dead by Daylight dating sim.
There's a lot of D's in that title.
Yeah, don't worry. Too many D's for me to handle. Yeah. This is a visual novel set on Murderer's Island, featuring the characters Huntress, Wraith, Spirit, and Trapper. The release date is yet to be announced.
Damn.
But
can't believe they did it.
I mean, it's pretty funny. Why not?
Yeah, you know what? Why not? I mean, Dead by Daylight.
If KFC can do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a good motto to have in life, Jen. If KFC can do it, why can't I?
Exactly.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight is still an extremely popular game, so of course they sort of want to keep the rhythm going, I guess, and diversify a little bit. And like this is the complete opposite from what Dead by Daylight is, what it is at the moment. So they're really diversifying. They're taking that term and they're running with it.
Yeah. I think fans would be very intrigued because I don't know if you get a lot of lore behind the killers, and I think in this you kind of like chat to them and get to know them, so it'd be quite fun as a fan to reveal.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll like expand on this in the future, and they'll because obviously Dead by Daylight has some like licensed villains and heroes in it as well. Like, is there the possibility that they could expand on this in the future and Jason Voorhees or whatever is like a dateable character, like
maybe
because I'm sure there's people out there that would want to date Jason Voorhees, right?
Sure.
I'm sure there is somewhere out there.
Tell us.
Somewhere out
do
there.
You?
Yeah. Do you want to date Jason Voorhees? Let us know in the comments down below. In a very different change of pace, Jenz. Skull and Bones. Do you remember that pirate game that was announced it seems like 10 years ago now?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Well, it just got rated in Australia somehow. I don't know.
Okay.
So yeah, this is Ubisoft Pirates game that was sort of announced alongside the release of Sea of Thieves way back in 2017. So it's been a good while, But yeah, like I said, for some reason it's now been rated in Oz. I'm sure most of you guys have at least heard of this maybe once or twice. I know we've talked about it on the podcast a handful of times.
Yeah.
But for those that don't know, Skull and Bones has kind of been stuck in a development hell for a good while now. And there's been no sort of news surrounding it as to potential releases or windows or even beta tests or things like that, I do think it's gone into a very early alpha test for some of the insider people that signed up for it I don't know how long ago. So I think some people have gotten the chance to play it in a playable state. I just don't know how playable that state is. But yeah, there's been nothing, coming out of this game since 2017, basically. They've just been delaying it. And now reports are suggesting that it's been sort of, it's pivoted, I guess, into a more of a free-to-play live service type game, similar to Fortnite, where the base game is free-to-play. There's obviously going to be a battle pass or some sort of ongoing, thing to keep players coming back and stuff. And that seems like it's something that they would do, to sort of, I guess, revive this game. Because I feel like at this stage, if you were excited for Skull and Bones, you'd not now because it's been so long and you
Yeah,
haven't
you
heard anything
forgot
about
about it.
and you've pivoted and you've gone on and played Sea of Thieves, which is probably like a much better pirate game as well from what I remember seeing in like the trailers and whatnot. So I don't know. But the classification board here in Australia awarded the game an M rating, citing, moderate impact themes, violence, drug use, and sex in its sort of, reasoning for it.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the board's records, Ubisoft itself submitted the application, though the site doesn't like indicate or display how long ago they made this submission. So like this could have been for like
right.
before when the game was what do you call it? Like not a free to play live service. It could have been like a different type of game then.
Yeah, right.
We don't know. But I feel like it would have been relatively recently that they would have, submitted it, I guess. I feel like the backlog for the classification board definitely wouldn't get that long because that seems kind of stupid, but I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? Yeah. But what's interesting is that this sort of is happening within a month or two of like what was going to be E3, which isn't happening this year, but like all the development studios are gonna start announcing, live stream events within the next month or two to coincide with like the E3 time period.
Because E3's a no-go this year.
Yeah, E3's not happening this year, so all the studios and developments and stuff like that are doing like, okay, we'll do our own live stream. So I think the only one that I've seen so far has Microsoft
Xbox?
and Bethesda have like penciled in their one, and I forget what the date was. But like that's the only one that I've seen like confirmed. So it wouldn't surprise me if within the next couple of weeks Ubisoft announce, hey, we're getting a Uplay stream on this day, and they announce something here for Skull and Bones.
They might do something with PlayStation because Ubisoft just like recently joined forces with PlayStation because of the PlayStation Plus tiers thing. So maybe they might do, like, they haven't bought them out, but like,
no, but they seem to be buddy,
but there might be buddy that they like, and with the launch of the PlayStation tier list, you can get this.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because I just don't know if Ubisoft have enough games to host their own thing, but maybe they do.
mean, I feel like they have hosted their own thing at E3 before in the past. It's obviously been tied on towards like to E3, but I feel like the Ubisoft name is big enough that they can be like, yeah, we'll do our own live stream.
Yeah.
Like, people know Ubisoft, and like even if they only announce 3 games and like maybe 4 updates, like that's sure, And
I guess it's not that expensive to host a live stream compared to an actual event.
Yeah.
So that's possible.
Yeah. But I guess keep your eyes and ears peeled here because we'll report on it as soon as Ubisoft do announce something. If they do, that is, they might not. Who knows yet? But yeah, I mean, Jenz, do you remember watching the trailer for Skull and Bones way back in 2017?
Literally, I don't. I don't know what it looks like. I know the name, and that's it.
Do you remember Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag?
Yeah, is it just
how
that?
You know how you could use the boats in there and you could do like the boat battles and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's pretty much just that, except you can't get off of the boat. You are just controlling the boat and you just fight other boats.
Well, that's not fair. You need like... Yeah. That's the fun thing is like you ram into a boat and you can like go overboard and like kill them.
And that's... I mean, and who knows? They might have pivoted. They might have added that. Because like that's why when I first saw this trailer announced alongside the release date for Sea of Thieves, I was like, who in their right mind would pick Skull and Bones over Sea of Thieves? Sea of Thieves looks way more fun. Like,
maybe that's why they haven't launched the game. They're just waiting for Sea of Thieves.
And that's what I'm thinking too. I think they heard the reception when they announced it, and people were like, "What is this shit? Like, who would play that?" And then they were sitting there scratching their heads, like, "Damn, did we mess up?" Like,
video games.
Yeah. What a fun time.
I really want to talk about this. The She-Hulk trailer, which I'm gonna move us on to. Mm-hmm. What do you think?
Thoughts. It looks interesting. It's definitely something we've never seen before.
Yeah.
It seems to like I put in the little notes there. It does seem to be leaning more into the humorous side of Marvel. Like obviously I think they understand they're trying to utilize the far-fetchedness of a typical lawyer that gets given the Hulk serum and is now a lawyer / Hulk. Like I feel like they see the humor in that, and they're like, okay, let's lean into it a little bit.
It's so strange.
Yeah,
because I think the way someone or they worded it was like attorney by day, Hulk by night, or some shit.
Yeah,
it was like, what the fuck is happening?
And you do see that, actually. You do see, like, in the trailer, you do see like a direct scene where she's like, she's in a court or whatever, and she's defending someone, and then it switches scenes and she's on a date with someone as She-Hulk.
It's so weird.
Yeah, it is.
Like, good on them.
It seems like it's going to be very different,
Yeah.
Like,
I hope the different is wanted, because it's a risk.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. But look, hey, good on you for trying something different, I guess. And
I mean, in the YouTube, I whoever I sent the link or whatever, it was for a YouTube link, obviously, and I was reading some of the comments on it, and like people seem to be digging it.
Okay,
from
that's
the
good.
little 1.5-minute long trailer. It's only a very short sort of trailer. But yeah, from that little trailer, all the top comments were people like, you know what, I'm digging it. From this little trailer, I'm down for it. It looks great. Yeah, I sort of can't wait for it. So it's and I feel like I would have to agree. It's definitely something that's going to be different. And I kind of like that they're utilizing these Disney Plus shows to do something different. Like the Disney Plus shows seem to be the risk takers and the gamblers, like, yeah. And then they're saving the movies for like, obviously the big, Doctor Strange, like we already know he's cool.
Like very scripted, very to the books.
Yep. Yeah. And like all the Disney Plus shows, they're sort of, they're taking their risks with. So it's, I'm excited for it, and it is just around the corner, coming out 17th of August. That's why they released the trailer today, was to sort of coincide with the first, episode drop. So that's coming out in a couple of months. So it's I'm excited for it. We'll get another trailer as well closer to the actual release of it. So we'll probably get maybe some more info then. But yeah, what do you think of the look of She-Hulk as well, Jenz? Did you watched the trailer as well, didn't you?
I skimmed through it. I should listen to it. I didn't listen to it.
Yeah, there wasn't too much important information.
I was a bit worried that it's just my default when watching trailers. I just don't want to hear it. I'll skim through it just in case. So I will watch it properly. But given you're the you read comics and all that jazz. Well, did you?
Yeah, she looks pretty good. She doesn't look goofy at all. I feel like there was always that fear that obviously painting someone green, because she's not as big and muscular and huge as the Hulk is, because there's kind of that disassociation between seeing Bruce Banner and then seeing the Hulk, but She-Hulk is a lot more of a blend of Hulk but very human,
Right.
And so there's that fear that you just go around, you paint someone green and it looks a bit skew-iff, but it looks pretty good, Okay. It didn't jump out to me as being that looks a bit weird. But yeah, and I'm excited too because Bruce Banner himself, the Hulk, is going to be in it. Mark Ruffalo is in the show, so we're hopefully going to get some cool Hulk and She-Hulk combo action, I guess.
Yeah, that'll be fun because Hulk basically left to live his own life, really.
Yeah, Hulk's just doing his own thing. He's vibing,
Yeah, so it'd be kind of fun to see what he's up to, I guess, in the whole Marvel universe.
Yeah. Because he is still sticking around. Him and Thor, I think, are some of the only OG, I say in quotation, Avengers that are still around. So yeah, it's cool. We've still got a couple of them. Yeah. But moving on, Jenz, I think now we can talk about it because I finally got around to watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But the Moon Knight finale, Jenz.
Yes. I will preface that we are gonna just talk about the episode. So. Just spoiler alert.
Spoilers, obviously.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah? Did you like the whole series as a...
Yeah, I very much enjoyed the whole series as a whole. I don't know if it was my favorite Disney Plus show. I still think it's Hawkeye. Very close second on this. Probably third would be WandaVision, or like tied with Moon Knight. I don't know. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah. What about you? Did you enjoy the finale?
Yeah, it was okay for me.
Okay, yeah.
Loved the music. I think it's one of the like coolest intro music, and like having Egyptian themes was really cool.
Yeah.
The fight sequence was interesting.
Yeah. Seeing those like two gods going at it. Like...
Yeah. So yeah, I love the girl in her outfit.
Yeah, I'm trying
like
to
her superhero outfit.
Scarlet Scarab, that's what it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was really cool.
Scarab, yeah.
Really cool to see. I do like Moon Knight. I think he's like charismatic. I love his outfit. I love like the look of Moon Knight and the Scarab. So yeah. It was cool because it's like a superhero that I haven't seen or heard about before.
Yeah.
So it was nice to see more about what they're
that's
all
it too.
about.
Like as much as like the Disney Plus shows are like sort of the experimental side, they're also like the first introduction side. It feels like to a lot of these characters. You know, no longer are they being introduced like in a mid credits like cutscene
exactly.
in like the last Marvel movie. They're getting their own 6-episode series on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is a much better introduction to them. You know, like yes, I would still like to see Marvel continue to do that and like drop little character introductions in like these end credit scenes because they feel a bit more exciting, you know, like seeing a character that like, oh my god, he popped
like who is that?
Yeah. Then like at some convention being like, we're making the Groot show when it's like, oh yeah, okay, woo, Groot. Like, you know, it's a bit less exciting when they like fully announce it. So I would still like to see them do that, but it's cool. And I just want to touch on too, right at the end, obviously there was an end credit scene to Moon Knight. He's Jake Lockie. He's got my name, which is great. He is a third alter ego, I guess, of Moon Knight and all of
that's right.
You know, knights and stuff. So obviously he's gonna pop up at some point in the near future. Where do you think he might pop up? Do you know? Do you have any speculations?
You know me. I don't speculate anything. I don't want to spoil anything in my brain. No thoughts in here.
Okay, maybe I won't say where I think he might pop up then because I don't want to.
Okay, we'll wait
spoil it
until he pops up and you can be like, I knew it.
I thought so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll put a little star at this episode, like in the YouTube back end, and like if he does pop up where I'm expecting him to, then I can at least come back to it and refer to this point and be like,
Yeah. Your Jake senses are tingling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's everything for this week, Jenz. Was there anything else you wanted to add before we run off for the week?
No.
Yeah, no, nothing from me either. So as always, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to head over to hellohellolive.com and check out all the new blog posts and stuff that goes up there. Hopefully we'll get some more things up soon. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye. What?